What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is having a great day. Jump in here and see what we can catch. Chat's open, so anything you guys have, throw it in the chat. I know we had a lot of people that were traveling over the weekend, heading down to Miami. Hope you guys had a fun time. Hope you learned something. And yeah, let's see what we got. So as you guys know, we've been looking at this daily dot to dot for quite some time. The dot did move a little bit. The dot was there, it was there, but it moved. I don't want to reset this chart because I don't have this one saved as a template yet. But we've came up and we have a daily candle now that's touched. Zoom in here. We got that daily candle that has broken that trend line right there by here. Now, granted, this isn't a daily candle close because this candle could still come down like this today, and we wouldn't get that closure. We just have a wick that would be formed like this right here above that. So what this is going to give us is if we do close a daily candle, meaning let's say that candle today does something like this right here, and then the daily closes in that area, which it's not going to look great because it's another color. Let's say we close a daily candle like this, and then another candle opens up over here like that right there. That would be your daily candle close, which would lead us to those whole numbers that we talk about, which would be the 34,500. So let's do this here. Go here and go 34,500. Bam. So then it would put us to that whole number right here, which is where we've rejected here and here. And as you can see, I mean, November of last year, was really the last time that we pushed up. I mean, this one went after November, but that was the last time prior that we've been up, if we take a look just in this area. So we've went, sorry, this is the weekly. So we've went 28 weeks not really being able to break that area. And sorry guys, I shouldn't have said daily. I did not realize this was the weekly, so my apologies. It's been a crazy morning. So it's that weekly candle that we would close above it. So let me retrace that. The weekly candle, we'd have to have a weekly candle break and hit this whole number up here. And we've not had a weekly candle break, obviously, since November of last year. It hadn't even broken then. That's when it tested it. And since then, we've given it a wick, and that's about it. So if this weekly candle could push up and get us to that 34,500, that would basically do the same thing we've done over here, and here, and here, and then it would come back down. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a retest of that on a weekly level. Keep in mind, we wanted to trade down in this area. We didn't get it. All we got was a wick, and then we got knocked out on the way back up. I don't think most people are going to be trading on the weekly, so let's take a look at our daily. This is where we need that whole number. There we go, right there. So this is that daily chart we've been looking at. And on the daily, we were just looking for breaks above these zones right here. I said if we close a daily candle below this zone here, which is that 33,050 area, we're going to push back down to this zone. We didn't. We actually closed the daily candle above it, pushed through our zone here that we had used as support for quite some time, blew through it. We had this little area up here, which was our TP1. It blew through that. And then we had the last TP up here pushing back up, and we've not quite got there. So on the daily, we've blown through all the levels that we've had. And if we zoom out, I mean, this is the same daily chart we've been looking at since we marked it up right here back in March and going into April into this area. So for me, when I look at this on the daily, I mean, you guys know I'm wanting the shorts. I'm wanting the shorts bad. And for shorts, I mean, really, we're just going to have some fun with it and say if we could close a daily candle above this level, then we'll enter shorts and take it back down into this zone. So that's kind of our daily level, what we're looking for. And Andy, what about buys? Where's your buys? Well, we already have our buys down here in this area when we started breaking up, and we have those protected. So our buys are protected and running. So as you guys know, we like playing both sides, and that way it helps us obviously secure these profits. We've already closed profits down here. We're already protected. So I'm looking for sells, anything below this area here. And just to give you guys numbers, that's going to put you at a zone of 33,819 to 33,783 for shorts into that area. We look at our 4-hour chart, and I know this is actually getting a little messier than what I like, But the reason that it looks so messy with these lines is these are those whole number lines that we're talking about. So for you guys that are just joining us, you know, every 250 I call those my whole number. So you got 33,000, 33,250, 33,500. And I mean, you can go through here and we can lay just a couple more zones. It's going to get messy, so I apologize for that, but that's what happens when you're marking these zones out. So our next zone here will be 34,000, which was our TradingView template number that we hit right there. And then we can throw our one in between there, which will be our 33,750, like that. And when you look at these zones, you actually see how important they are and where we broke at 33,250. And then where we pushed up and the new candle broke at 33,750. And then we came back down and broke a whole new candle below 33,750 and then wicked at 33,500. Pushed through 33,750 and came back and wicked it. And then look, pushed up to 34,000 and had candle body, and a wick. So we know these are valid all the way up. Now we had these trend lines on here where we bounced, came back down, came back up. I was hoping to actually get a swing a little high on that trend line. But since we're looking at more whole numbers here than anything, we've already broke. This was our area for buys. So if you guys remember, this is where we were looking at those buys. This was that bull flag right there that we were playing. And not only did it break the bull flag, that was also a break of the 4 hour. So if you took that trade with us, you're up 844 pips at the moment, you're protected, and you have a runner. Now, if you did not take this trade, if you did take this trade, you should be protected in close partials. But if you didn't take it, I'm sorry, because you missed out on a beautiful move. Because like I said, we were looking at this on the bull flag, and we were looking at this on the dot-to-dot break. So since this trade's already happened, there's no reason for us to keep these here. I am going to save this template because price could come down, and if it does and starts hitting this area, that's going to be an area where we would reject and come back up. So we at least want to save this template. So I'm not going to remove it just yet, but I am going to add those whole numbers on a template by itself, and we're going to watch that. This here was another template that we had, and I'm just going over all the templates so you guys can see how they've worked out. All we were looking at here was this dot, and we had another dot in this area that we were connecting through here. And when we look at this, we broke, we're looking for sells. And if you go back and watch Carbon Capital's YouTube stream, this was actually on Carbon Capital's YouTube stream. We were looking at the 4 hour break. We broke, came back up and retested, gave us that swing high, and then it fell and it hit the reversal area. Now when we zoom out, you're gonna see right here, TP3 reversal. And look where that dot was, and that's where we reversed. That's when we shot back up into our zone right here. And we slammed back down, and what do? We hit, well, I'm going to say we hit the reversal area. We missed the reversal area by 12 pips. And what did it do after it hit reversal area? It shot off and ran 1,339 pips, or currently at 1,233 pips. So again, you guys have an opportunity for a runner for buys right here at 33,117. And you have an opportunity for a runner at 32,578 or 32,699 before we ended up getting that dot to dot break that we had coming in like this. We actually ran this one off a trend line. Now, if you wasn't looking at any of the templates and all you did was trade dot to dot, look, there's your dot to dot and there was your break right there. So you're in profit on that dot to dot break. So if you use the wrong dot, Andy, what dot was I supposed to use? Maybe you use that one. You got in right there. You're still up 466 pips. Okay, so solid trade. Really happy with that template. And this is going to give us a clean canvas here to work with. So we're going to go to that 4 hour. And we're going to start marking up our zones. So let's throw these down here. 34,000. 33,750. 33,500. 32,750. We're gonna do 33,000. And while I'm doing this, guys, any questions y'all have or anything you want to tell me about y'all's weekend, how it was, whatever, please drop it in the chat. take one, last one down to, and I know this is a little unorthodox for me to have all these zones because I normally don't trade it, but man, US 30 has just been acknowledging these zones so well that it's almost hard for me to ignore them. So we obviously have all these zones marked out. We've rejected at the 34,000 mark up here. So if we've rejected here, we need a 30, well in this case we're looking at the 4 hour, we need a 4 hour candle closure below here. If we look at the 30 minute, we got our 30-minute candle closure here. So this would signify that we rejected 34,000. Look, rejection, 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 rejection. Came up, wick, rejection, and now we've pushed down. So what I would like to see, just for today, would, it'd be lovely to see us hit this zone down here. But if we close a 30-minute candle above here, we're pushing up. No ifs, ands, or buts. So for me, I'm not taking any moves off of just the zones today. Let's mark up our dots, though, and see what we've got. If you guys know, when you use these dots like this, that's too high. So let's look at what this bottom dot gives us. That bottom dot is going to put us there. So we've got a beautiful dot to dot right there on the 30. If we go to the 4 hour, we don't have anything to connect to that would make sense. Nothing, okay? So we know this 30-minute dot to dot is the one we're going to look at. So now we've got that marked up. Now we can say, if we close a 30-minute candle below here, now we can run it down to here. And our stop loss is going to be where? 10 pips above that. So that's 34,054 right there. And we'll turn this one red. All right. So right here would be our entry, and that's our stop loss. Now, you could take that trade right now based off the wick fill, and that would be a 112 pip stop loss versus a 207 pip stop loss. So this is where you've got to determine, do I want to wait for a dot to dot break to take it with a higher stop loss, or would I rather just take the trade now and just see what happens? Obviously, it's not any advice I can give you. This is dependent on your risk. So this is what I'm looking at right here. Now here's the beautiful thing. If we break this 30-minute dot to dot right here, and we break trend, and we would consider this a high risk area, and we close a 30-minute candle below 33,750, and we close a 30-minute below this trend line, then that gives us all we need to go to here, just like that. So that's where I'm looking at the Dow Jones right now. Now you could take breaks for buys, but we already have our buy runners. So the runners that we have in buys right now, we're looking for other opportunities, which I really like the sells. But let's take a look at our red folders. So this week that we have on red folders is going to be, pull up my calendar here. Nothing today. Tomorrow we've got USD news CPI, obviously at 8:30 a.m. We'll stream that one. That'll be fun. And then Wednesday we've got 8:30 core PPI, 2 o'clock FOMC. We got the statement, the federal funds rate. And then at 2:30 we got the FOMC press conference, which you guys know always brings some fun. And then we go into Thursday, and we are stacked at 8:30. We have core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing, retail sales, and unemployment claims. And then, leading into the end of the week on Friday, we've got 10 o'clock prelim consumer sentiment. So we have a folder of news, okay? So this is what I want. Whenever you see that much news, this is where I want to go on this weekly chart. If we zoom out on this weekly, this right here was our all-time high. So if we throw our all-time high up there, currently from where we're at to all-time high is roughly 3,000 pips. Now you would think with all this great news, it's just going to push us up, push us up, push us up. Let's trade like a bank for a little bit though. Where do I think more money is at the moment? This was a massive wick at all-time high. Once you get to all-time highs like this, you don't have a ton of people that are trying to click sell or buy. They're just watching the market. Price comes down, that candle gets wicked. Starts this new body right here. And look, price comes back up and almost clears that whole entire candle out. And then we sell down, so people have sells, and then boom, this candle comes up and knocks out all of these orders. This candle comes up and you're just in a wick zone. We sell down, look, that candle gets ate up, that candle gets ate up. Anything that happens down here selling down, look, gets ate up. And now we've been consolidating. We've been consolidating since November of last year in the same area. This candle here still has a little bit of orders left. These candles down here are still gonna have people playing in them. So we've got a massive area basically down here like this where none of these orders have been touched yet. Contracts, whatever you want to call them. So the way that I'm looking at this is from here to start chewing into here is 2,500 pips. To all-time high is almost 2,900, almost 3,000 pips pushing up. So no matter where we're going, it's almost the same amount of distance. But where's more money to be had in the markets? More money is to be had by selling at this moment, obviously, than buying at this moment. So for me, this is what I'm looking for. Break and take down. Keep in mind, we've got a week of red folders, which means we're going to have a ton. And when I say a ton, there's going to be a ton of wicks. There's going to be a lot of weird moves that we see. I mean, we could possibly see wicks of 180 to 220 pips easily. So with that being said, don't over risk. If you're on Carbon Capital, you've got a micro account, okay? With a micro account, that means you can trade at 10 cents per pip. With a week with this much news, there's absolutely zero reason just to start taking trades to take a trade, okay? So to put this into perspective, you know, we always say that you could push sell under leverage and just let it roll. So like right now, and this just puts it in, if you were to click it right now and you have 1,000 pip move and you're trading at 10 cents a pip, I mean, that's not going to murder your account, guys. It's only $100. I mean, let that sink in. From here to all-time high in drawdowns, $300. Okay, now granted, 10 cents a pip, that still sucks. So you don't want to do that. But I'm just using that as an example, is you're not going to blow your account by trading 10 cents. Okay, so in a week like this, practice the craft. I've gotten way too many messages. I've talked to way too many people. They're having issues with just over leveraging, blowing accounts, getting into trades that make no sense. They're trying to catch the falling knife, if you will. Meaning like right now, US 30 has just pumped, you know, all the way back to 34,000. And there's people that are just trying to catch that fall. Okay, if you're trying to catch that fall, wait for structure to build, because there's not been a break of a dot to dot. We've been in our buys that we're buying up. We have our runners. Everything is set up perfect, okay? There's absolutely no reason just to jump into a trade like even today. You know, this morning I looked at the market and I was like, man, we're just kind of sitting in that same area. You know, we look at that daily zone, we broke it. We look at our weekly chart. I mean, the weekly chart, we're right back into that box. And I can tell you right now, if you're trading anywhere in this gray box, you're going to get consolidation. We've got to get back out of this gray box and start pushing downward, or even get out of this gray box and start pushing upward. But one of the two needs to happen, because all we've done, we're in this box from November of last year right here. Technically, we're in the box through here when you think about it. So November of last year, we've just been in the same area. Now, we've had a lot of moves down for a few weeks, but then we come right back up into it. So don't think you've got to go all in this week. This is going to be the week that's going to change your life, because I can tell you right now, it's going to be a week that can really mess you up, because we're going to have a lot of abrupt moves. Be sure you're under leveraged. Be sure your stops are in the right place. And if you get knocked out, you get knocked out. We will be trading live. I'll be on live tomorrow, see what we can catch, have some fun with it. But again, if you're planning on trading live, don't take any trades between now and the live session. Unless you're just saying, you know what, I want to take a rejection on, this 34,000. I'm just going to click sell right here, and I'm going to put my stop loss at the next whole number of 34,250. I mean, you can do that all day if you want to. And for those that are curious on what that looks like, this is what it looks like. Bam. I did not. I hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. 34,250. There you go. So there's your stop. Now you can use that as a stop, or you can use a wick fill as a stop. But with a week as many red folders as we've got, if price was down here and you use the swing high and 10 pips above it, don't be surprised to get a candle that goes and then comes back down. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm gonna look at some questions real quick. To the moon, or is it to Mars these days? Yeah, I mean there's people screaming all-time highs right now, all over social media. They're screaming all-time highs. If we see an all-time high, I would be very, very impressed. I mean, you're talking a 3,000 pip move to all-time highs, and when we look at where we're at on the daily, this right here was our break that we had on this candle. If we look at that 4-hour move, this was our rejection on the beginning of June, which means currently to where we're at is 1,200 pips. That'd be 4,200 pips in a matter of 2.5 weeks, and I don't see it. I've been wrong before. I just don't see 4,200 pips in a matter of 2 weeks. I mean, given everything that's going on right now, I just don't. What's up, Kevin? Good morning from Spain. Good day for sure. Hope you had a great weekend. Man, I did have a good weekend. It was kind of a weird, weird week. As you guys know, been dealing with some stuff with my family and my grandfather and his health, and it was just a weird week. I mean, there were nights where, I was up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning going to the hospital, and then just weeks of days of going to my grandparents' house, hanging out there till, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and just coming home. And, man, after all the crying and the family and stuff being together, you're just completely tanked. Head hurts. You're tired, but you can't sleep. So, there were nights last week where me and Hannah were up till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, which is typically. There's times we're up till 4 or 5, but then trying to go to sleep, couldn't go to sleep. It was just a really weird week. So this weekend, I told Hannah, I was like, I just want to chill. So Friday night we had a really chilled night with just a date night, and then just hung out at the house. I had friends and family over to eat and cook out and just relax. But it was a really weird week. So yeah, weekend was good though. What's up, Chad? Thunderstorm was wild. Come out of nowhere. We knew it was going to rain, but it was super nice outside. And then last night I was literally about to jump on the live stream and lost all of our power. About probably 5 minutes, 6 minutes later, power came on. And I was like, let's just see if we can keep power for 15, 20 minutes. And we did. So we went ahead and got the kids in bed, changed clothes, and come up here to start a live stream. And the power went out again. And then it came back on. So we went to start the live stream again, and it did the same thing. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. I'll just do it tomorrow. There's nothing happening. There's no red folders on Monday. So no one is looking to be trading anyway. So we'll catch what we can get on Tuesday. But yeah, the storms were wild. Matthew still got his runner going. I love it. Andrew Michael says, just glad to be back, man. Good morning, Eric. John Snow says, I'd like to know how you're doing personally. I'm doing well. Obviously I'd love to not be dealing with, the stuff that my grandfather and my family's going through with that. But, man, that's life. When you start getting to your late 80s, early 90s, life just takes a turn sometimes. And it just goes to, it goes to how we should think about everything that we do in our life. Meaning it's just, we think we have all this time, but it's really short-lived when you think about it. Because I'm 41, so, my grandfather's 90. So when I think about, when I was born, my grandfather was only 8 years older than I am now. And I think about all the stuff that me and him did. So like my closest memories with him are going to be when I was about probably 7 to 8. So when I take, 49 years old, and I'll say that I'm 8 years old, that made him 57. So, when I was doing tons of just cool stuff with my grandfather, traveling the whole U.S., going places, racing dirt bikes, building stuff, building race cars. He was 57 at that point in time, which is 16 years like older than I am now. So it's hard for me to even imagine being 16 years older than I am now and just doing all the stuff that we did. It really is. But then it just shows me how fast that went by. Because when I was 7 or 8, even though he was 57, my grandfather was in great health. He was jacked. I mean, just unreal top person. And I started aging, and he stayed about the same age to me. I saw him in his 60s, and I saw him in his early 70s, and, he still was active. And then right around that 85, 86, it's just like that was bam. He hit that wall. And I'm like, man, I'm almost halfway. I'm technically halfway there when you think about it where I'm at now in my life. And I'm like, man, how fast has 41 years went for me, And I look at my kids, Lainey's 12, turned 13 this year. It's like that went really quick because I remember her being born like yesterday. I mean, literally driving to the hospital, everything. And then I remember Lawson and Lyndon being born. And I remember the stages me and Hannah where we're at in our life then, and it has flown by. So I'm like, okay, well, let me think about when me and Hannah got married. When we started dating. So it's like, well, that was 19 years ago. So man, you start thinking about that stuff. It's like, whew, me and Hannah's been together we've been together 19 years now, and I'm 41, so that's almost half of, take that away, that's more than half my life I've been with her. And you do 20 more years where I'm at now, that puts me at 61. It's like, oh man, and I can't imagine, as fast as it's went for me, how fast it goes for the people that are on the grind right now. The rat race of waking up and working those 10, 12-hour days or working multiple jobs and all that stuff. I was there obviously, but I've not done that for a few years now. So it even goes by faster for you guys, that are in that situation. So, again, it was one of those things where it's a blessing in disguise. It's allowing me to really, think about things that even me and Hannah do. And it's like, it's time to really, figure out this is where we're going to be one day. I'm watching my grandmother hold his hand. They've been together for 70 plus years. And it's like, man, one day, me and Hannah won't make it 70 years. There's no way that'd put me, I'd have to be like 91, 92. And that's, man, I don't think that's going to happen. But, it just puts things into perspective about your own life and where you want it to go and stuff. So it's, like I said, it's been a blessing in disguise. It's something that's painful to see my grandfather go through it, but it's given kind of, I think, everyone in the family a good look into, where none of us are getting younger, and there's still a lot of things we need to do as a family. There's still a lot of things we need to do with our cousins. So hopefully it puts it into perspective for them. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Took some L's last week, so I'm just going to learn this week. Ruben, that's what you got to do, brother. When you've got those weeks of losing trades, you just got to come back and say, okay, where are we going to start out fresh from? What's going to be the week for me? And sometimes these red folder weeks can be good, and sometimes they can just tank you depending on what you're doing. I will say my little secret on red folders is getting in here and finding a position, taking it, setting the stop loss, and then just letting it run. And if it gets knocked out, then it's like, there's just way too many red folders. We're all over the place. We're up, we're down. We got wicks here, wicks there. We're back in a consolidation zone. We pushed out. It's going to be tough to trade unless if you've just got a week where every single thing that comes out is bad, 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 and you get those just movements to where they continue to just trend, then it's a wonderful week. But I don't think we're going to see that this week. I think we're going to see if it pushes down hard, it's going to push right back up. If it pushes up hard, it's going to push right back down. I don't think we're going to see a trending week where it just like starts tanking and then just tanks all the way back down, or where it starts going bullish and then just continues this bullish momentum all the way back up. I think we're going to see a lot of up and down, up and down. So, what's up, Randy? Man, thank you, and I hope you have a great day as well. And thank you, Zachary and John Snow as well. Brendan Murphy, first time getting a chance to go on a live stream. Thank you, Brendan. I appreciate it. It's it's a little weird live stream because we're not trading right now. We're just kind of looking at the markets, and there's not much going on. And obviously, my face isn't on the camera because my camera decided to die on me this morning. I've got a battery that's obviously plugged into power that keeps it on all the time, and I had to use it on my other desk. So this one was just on a battery pack, and it died literally the moment that I started up. I thought I had a full charge, and I didn't. So yeah, just a little weird. Probably you guys hearing a talking chart, but I'm glad you're here, and it's going to be a fun week. This week I plan on streaming most everything on YouTube just for fun, and just with this many red folders, it should be fun to see what we can catch. If you guys have been following my wife's journey, I know she is going to be trading this week across from me. She's got her desk set up, so I think we're going to have some fun there and see what she can catch. And that's going to be it. Let's see. Get back to the workforce for a while. My buddy needs some help, so I came. Man, that's awesome, bro. You've got to help people, you know? I mean, that's me and Hannah have done that. I mean, we've got some friends that own a couple of businesses around town, and we've told them if y'all get in a pinch and you need help, like, hit us up. And we've got little things we do around the house with the kids and family, but if we can help a friend's business and lend a hand where a hand's needed, I mean, I'm all about it. So guys, before we end this live session, any questions or anything y'all want to put out there or say? I'll give y'all just a few more minutes. Make sure I get all the questions answered. No more trading tonight. So, good question. I actually had that question asked a lot. Man, I think the world of Cam has something just really, really cool going. And I told him that I would probably connect with him sometime, throughout the year or maybe the end of the year to do a few of them here and there. But it was just rough for me because every Friday morning I had to jump on and be online at the same time to get this trading thing going. And I mean, we had a great session. I think out of every single, I think I live streamed for almost a year or something like that. And I think we had 2 losing sessions out of every single live session we did, which was great. But it was just, man, every time I jump on, there were just times the markets wasn't good. And I almost felt like I was just forced to have to catch it because you've got so many people watching, so many people wanting to take a trade. And we were just trying to find trades. And granted, they worked out well, but it was just, it was rough. And then Fridays are the days that the kids, really like to get up and do their thing around the house, and they like to play, and, they got the dogs going crazy. So it's like, guys, please be quiet. Give me an hour and a half. Take the dogs, put them in their, their little kennel cages or take them outside. It was just, a lot of, I guess, if it was my stream on YouTube and you hear a dog bark in the background or you hear the kids playing, it's like, it is what it is. This is my live stream on my channel. You guys know I got 3 kids, get used to it. But on his channel, I wanted to be respectful and keep it, clean, keep it organized, keep it to where it lines up with his content. So it was just, like I said, doing that for almost a whole entire year. I was like, man, I just got to take a break. So I did. But I mean, Cam and me, we still talk. Great guy. I love what he's done in the, in the industry. So I plan to, do just a couple of them for fun with him. Let's see here. I understand. Thanks for all your time. I think I watched it. Man, I had so much fun on there. Now I'm glad you're on my channel here and we can have some fun. John Snow says, I still get confused about the break-even partial thing. I've seen you do it at 25 pips, 50 pips, and then wick fills. Any advice? So the way that I do my break-evens and partials is you need candle movement. So, like, for example, let's say you were playing this wick fill zone and it broke below this, 34,000. You could ultimately protect your entry right here. But as close as price is, you're going to probably get knocked out. You're going to get that last little spike. So I would say, where do I need to protect that? So I'm going to look at price. And so, okay, where's a good zone? Okay, well, there's some candle bodies and some wicks, and a wick touched it. Okay, so if I can get a 30-minute candle closure below this zone right here, now I'll protect. So protection still needs to happen after some sort of structure has broken the opposite way of your trade, to where you just don't get wicked out and then this thing fall 300 pips, and you're like, man, I can't believe I lost that trade because I protected too early. Now, that's because of the environment we're in with how price is moving. If you rewind back a year ago, we had those movements that were just fluid, meaning once it broke trend, you just got that nice candle break and it took off. You could protect almost immediately at 25 pips and you were solid. But the seasons have changed of trading. So you guys hear me say that a lot. Seasons are going to change. And the season that we're in right now is a lot of wicks, a lot of up and down movement. I mean, imagine, you've got this little area here. Your candle breaks, you take a buy, say right there, and price comes down, you're in drawdown, it finally breaks, and you're like, yes! And then you protect, and look what happened. Knocked out. And then it decided to run all the way back up. So it's just one of those things that you got to look for structure, and then once it breaks the structure, now you can protect that entry. Can you explain what happened last night on carbon that went on for about 2 hours or more? Only 1 minute, and on US 30 wasn't happening on pairs. Yeah, Randy, most definitely. I can explain that. First of all, do not trade on a Sunday night. But I'll go ahead and tell you exactly what happened here. So as you guys know, carbon is connected directly to liquidity, and that liquidity is what sends out quotes and everything that goes out. Now, if you were trading on some brokers where they decide to be, straight B book or straight, taking candles and just making it work, or filling candles or whatever, you're not going to get the same accuracy as you're going to own the Dow Jones. Now, granted, if you were trading on the NASDAQ, you're not going to see that because that is the Dow Jones platform. They're getting their quotes, directly right there. So what happens with us, and when I say us that trade on MT4, MT5, we have to have the market conditions that accurately reflect the current market, okay? So what happens is the index, Dow Jones, they make adjustments to constitute companies. And these adjustments are made through a process which is called Dow Jones switching contracts quarterly. Okay, so whenever that happens, they go in and make adjustments within the pricing itself to make sure that carbon, any broker for that matter, is staying true to what Dow Jones is currently priced at. So if you go look at, say, TradingView, and you go look at the Dow Jones that's trading on NASDAQ, and then you look at the Dow Jones on other brokers, there's always going to be a price difference. So what we have to do is being able to get that as close as we can. So the quarterly switching of contracts, obviously helps to ensure that the Dow remains up to date and reflects the changing dynamics of the U.S. stock market, because we've had a lot that's happened over the last few weeks within the stock market, a lot of wicks, a lot of gaps, a lot of all this mess. So with that, the liquidity provider during that time of the process switched, which is what we saw, those sporadic candles and everything going. And that was just due to the fact there was no pricing that was being sent to us, and us being the people that are trading. So with those gaps were at that point in time, there was no pricing. Keep in mind, it's after hours. So when we're trading like the Dow Jones doesn't open for trading until 9:30 in the morning. That's when the morning bell rings and we start trading. So anything prior to market open or market close, it's all after hours. And those after hours, this was the gaps that they were running, and that's what we saw. So it typically happens quarterly. Normally, you'll only notice it for about probably 10 to 30 minute candles. I'd say 10 to 20 minutes maybe that you'll see. And then sometimes you may see like you'll get to the 30-minute mark, and then for like 5 or 6 minutes it'll go crazy, and that's it. Last night's did take longer than normal, which was roughly almost 2 hours. But again, this just goes into that same thing that you've heard me and Andrew and a few others talk about, even Jeff as well, is on Sundays. Unless there's just something crazy going on, crazy news or crazy setup, then you're going to take those trades. But if we're being honest and we're looking at this, even if we go down to the 1 minute and we start zooming over here and you get to where all the craziness was happening last night. Well, actually that was right. That's right here. So this was the market, and then we had, you could just see it was choppy. It was worse in some areas, but there's no structure that no one's trading through there at all during that time. At all. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, it had nothing to do with, it didn't matter what server you were connected to. I mean, obviously the New York server is going to be the best, and that's what you're supposed to be connected to. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's where we're at. We're trading after hours, and anytime you're trading after hours or not in the live market, you can expect some craziness. And even with the gap play that's going on, and I'll go to that gap actually. Right there's your gap play. I mean, you're just clicking sell because you're playing the gap. And I mean, the gap hasn't been filled yet. Yeah, the gap hadn't even been filled yet. So you're just stacking sells the whole entire time. I didn't play the gap. I'll be honest, I didn't play the gap. And I normally play every gap, but when I just looked at the market and I saw those 1 minute candles going nuts, I went, I'm not touching this at all. I think last night was probably the first gap I've not played. And it'll be a good gap when it closes too, actually. Because where's it at? Right, let me find my 30-minute candle. So right there. Yeah, so it's basically going to be in this area right through here, right? There's the 612, 69, yeah. Not bad. Be a fun little play, especially if you got in that 34,000, man. That 34,000 hit will look great. Do you teach your strategy in the VIP Discord? So, I mean, the way that I trade is what you guys just saw here. I connect the dots. I look for trend line breaks, and I play whole number rejections. Now, I mean, obviously, I do the same thing with pairs as well. If you go watch my YouTube channel and all of my trading videos, you're going to see exactly how I trade. I've got hours upon hours of footage on there of trading, and I go over everything, how I trade, why I trade the way that I do. I answer tons of questions. I mean, there's a lot of good content on there. In the Discord itself, more of what you're going to get is the play-by-plays of how I'm managing my trades. I think that's where it gets probably the most beneficial, is people get to see how I'm managing my trade. So if I enter a sell or enter a buy, I'm explaining play-by-play what I'm doing with that trade. I live stream. So on YouTube, I live stream about one time a week, give or take. Within my Discord, I try to live stream at least 2 to 3 days a week. Sometimes we'll go 5 to 6 times if I'm doing like a morning session and then a follow-up session that evening. We talk about the Discord's not just for trading as well. We have a lot of development stuff in there. So we do like masterminds, we do crypto, we do stocks, we have a health and fitness section, we've got the general chat. We've got, everything you could think of that a person would really want is what we've built within there, which is what I wanted it to be. We get so focused on trading that we forget that to be a good trader, your mind has to be in the right space. Mentally, physically, everything's just got to be on point, because if it's not, your trading will typically suck. And yeah, I tell that with everyone. If you find a good trader, their life is typically in order. When I say in order, their relationships are healthy, with their wife or their husband or whoever they're with. If they're a dad, everything's going great with their kids. If they have businesses, their businesses are going well. Just everything seems to be firing on all cylinders. And then if you find those people where trading just is rough, they're losing, or they've got a good week and they got 3 bad weeks, or they're blowing accounts. You look at their relationship, it's not great. You look at their kids, they're not spending much time with their kids. They wish they could. Their businesses, aren't doing that great. Then themselves have let their health go. They're drinking too much. They're not exercising. It typically just all runs together. So what I wanted to do is create in the community that we're all kind of keeping ourselves accountable. And You've got people that are keeping each other accountable for, just health. People that are keeping each other accountable for, making sure they don't over leverage their account, making sure that they're taking the correct trades. We have a section that we call the results, to where we want people to post their results, good or bad. Actually go back and review people's trade history, kind of give them an idea of where they could do better. Like, there's just a lot going on in the community that I think can benefit people on a larger scale than just, here's how we trade. Because, it's just because, and I shared this last week with everyone, just because a chart gets thrown up doesn't mean that people are going to start winning trades. It's like right now, I've got this chart set up on a, break of this trend line, and we're going to run this thing down. And I can promise you right now that we can break this trend and sell all the way down to 33,500, and there will be people that lose this trade. Because they'll see it hit here, and they're like, oh, we're going to bounce, I'm going to go take a buy. Or they'll see it come down, and they'll be like, I don't like that trade. Price goes up, they're in a little bit of drawdown, they close out. Like, just because you've got this chart markup doesn't mean you're going to win. And there's people too that will get in the mindset of start stacking. They may get in a sell here, get into sell here, get into sell here, and then all of a sudden this thing retraces back up, tests this trend line, they're in massive drawdown, and they close the trade. So it's more about just walking people through it step by step, telling them how I'm managing my trades, and then trying to help them grow personally. So let's see here. Can I take a look at Nas? Yeah, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna be honest on Nas. In Nas, I mean, you're just clicking sell. There's no structure on Nas. I'll be honest. There's no structure on Nas. You're either in buys. We had that massive buy, which I got wicked out. I'm so mad that I got wicked out. Hannah just sent me a message on my phone. She said, should I sell since it's so high? I'm gonna say sure. Sure. Oh, that's funny. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second, guys. Why is it not? Oh, this isn't good. I had a meeting appointment that did not sync with my phone. Give me 1 second. I gotta make sure. Oops. It didn't sync to my phone. Dang it. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that. Jump back on here. Andy, soon I will join your Discord group. I speak Spanish. Do you think I can learn anyway? I mean, maybe. If you're a visual learner, for sure. When we'll be hearing from Jeff next. Jeff has been traveling the world. So we're trying to set up to where when he's back in town, me and him can do something online, because when he's overseas, sometimes it's just hard for the connection to go that well. So as soon as he gets back in the States, we'll do it. I took your sell last week at 33, hit the low risk stop loss, but I risked more than I should and lost 10% and messed with my mental. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, so, and that's something too that I do want to talk about. Yes, she's trading on a live account. I opened up her a $10,000 live account. But man, just, risk is huge. You always want to be in at 1%. And when you hear people say 1%, they just don't like that number. It's like, man, I've got a $10,000 account and I'm going to risk that 1%, which is only $100. That means you can only risk $100. That's it. Now, if you're trading at 10 cents per pip, well, that's 1,000 pips. So that means $100 risk is a lot of movement on US 30. The problem is people know they're not going to make that money. You get a 300 pip move at 10 cents, you're only making $30. And they're like, but I'd rather make 300. So I want to go in at $1. And then it goes backwards 400 pips. And now you have to close out at $400 and you just lost 4%. And it doesn't take long for 3 to 4 bad wins at 4 to 5% to take your account down quickly. So it truly is 1%, 2% max, unless you've got equity. Now, when I say equity, if you start a $10,000 account, your $10,000 account is now at $50K, and you got $40,000 of equity, and you want to risk 10% of that for $4,000 all day. Last question. You talk about buy low, sell high. Do you have any tips to see and judge whether price is actually high or low? Because it can look high on one time frame, but look low on another. Yeah, so that's a good point. So, I mean, like where we're at right now, you can always judge it by the daily. I mean, monthlies will tell you highs. Like if I click monthly, I mean, look where we're at in that zone, I mean, you're kind of high, but look at the daily. So if we look at that daily, like look at our low, and look there, we're high. Like we're high right now. So if you're looking at this on a daily area and you click sell here, I mean, technically in the daily area, we said 34,250, which are stop loss. That puts us almost at a swing high. So really 34,290 is your stop loss just for clicking sell at a high area. Like look at your stop losses on your daily. If we just use swing highs, from there to there is 300 pips, right? Yeah, 300 pips and some change right there. So that's our stop loss for a sell. Our stop loss for a buy is almost 1,400 pips. So like people that are clicking buy right here should have been clicking buy down here. But I can promise you there were people clicking sell down here instead of clicking buy. So that's how I gauge whether it's high or low. I was in a sell on gold from your template catch with the whole move down. Yeah, man, gold went nuts. Good morning, Lyndon. What happened? Who's Chance?
My fish.
Oh, the one from last week? Huh?
That's why it says that.
Oh, R.I.P. Yeah, your fish ended up passing away. I'm sorry. He's good, though, now. He's in fish heaven.
Yeah, but I missed him.
Huh?
I missed him.
I know.
The funny thing about him was that he didn't like eating his food. Like, every time when I would pour it, and I would say, eat all of it, and when I come back upstairs, it better be gone. And then I look, and then he's just staring at the food.
He's a funny fish.
Yep.
I love you, sweetie.
Me too.
Oh, man. Well, guys, this was supposed to be a quick live. I told Hannah, I'm only going to be on for like 15, 20 minutes, and now we're sitting almost an hour. But yeah, we'll live stream tomorrow, the news, and just see how it is. Have some fun with it, see if there's anything we can catch, and just go from there. But if there's one thing that I can leave you guys with, Carbon Capital has their micro accounts for a reason. Utilize it. Utilize it altogether. Don't miss out on an opportunity of being able to have low risk trades while you're trying to learn the craft, and then you can go in heavy. If you look at, say you take 10 trades, and in those 10 trades of trading 10 cents a pip, you've won every single trade, then increase it to 50 cents a pip. And even if you're trading only $1, think about it. Before you couldn't cut a dollar in half. Now you can. So now you can actually go in at $1. And people used to say all the time, I don't want to, I hate trading $1 because I can't close partials, blah, blah, blah. And now you can actually take your $1, close it to 50 cents, and bro, those 50 cents runners turn into some profit. I can tell you that right now. And those same people are still trading $2 and $3 to where they can take partials. It's like you can take a partial on $1 now. Like, take advantage of that. Are you letting your wife experience? Yeah. I mean, like today, I mean, she'll reach out to me. I mean, obviously we live together. She'll reach out to me like this morning. She's like, "Hey, price is up really high. Shouldn't I sell right now?" And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's what I preach. So, she's looking at stuff like that. But no, I mean, it's strictly on her. I've actually not told her to close out of any positions. She's done all that by herself, and she has closed them out amazingly. She's got some sniper entries on her closes. And all she's playing is, I mean, like, she's not even marking up. So I want to put that out there. She's only looking at the price and saying, wow, price is really high right now. It would make sense to sell. And when price was really low, she's like, price is really low right now. I should click buy. And her goal that she has, she's only trading $1 a pip, and she just closes out. She doesn't do partials really or anything. And she just looks for 300, pips or more. So if like gets at 300, 350, 360 pips, she just closes the trade out altogether and then waits, for it to go down further. And there's some occasions where when she does close out, it's so far down because it had like a massive push down that she'll say, I'll just click buy. And it's worked well. She's made 21% on a $10,000 account over the last, I think she's going on 6 weeks now. So, I mean, that's just trading $1. And that's what I wanted her to see, was just trading $1 with it and not getting too crazy. I mean, granted, she did have some drawdowns. She had a drawdown of like $544, which is, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's 5%, but she's also never traded a day in her life, ever. So we'll see. But guys, y'all have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Be sure that just give us some algorithm here. Click the like button, throw me a comment, not content, comment, and be sure that you are subscribed and turn on your notifications, because I'm telling you guys right now, these YouTube streams, we're gonna catch some bangers. We're gonna have some fun with it, and I mean, this is, like I always said, it's free content. You're not having to join anything. You're not having to pay for anything. It's just, it's me giving back the best that I can here and there. Because I understand there's people that, are just starting out in their journey and they don't want to join anything. They don't want to pay for, a Discord. They don't want to, spend any extra money because they're trying to save capital. And I've worked with many of those people where they're like, man, I can save $400 a month. Should I join a group or should I pay for education? It's like, no. Save that money as much as you can until you build capital. Jump on YouTube. Jump on my YouTube. There's some really good traders on YouTube that share a ton of content. Like, just come on here and have fun with everybody. And for those who are watching and, you want to know how you can get plugged in with us, you can go to www.thepipconnect.com. You can follow me on Instagram at RealAndyPeters. There's other ways you can join us too. So if you go to www.whop, or WHOP, however you say it, it's WHOP.com/pips. I've got things on there where you can join us, daily. You can join us for weeklies. You can join, daily motivational stuff to masterminds. I've been doing a lot of public speaking in people's offices and for their businesses. So if you're a business owner and you want to get, your people motivated, hit me up and let me know. And that's something that's been a lot of fun for me, because people are like, man, I don't want you to come and talk to my employees, because if you talk to my employees, they're going to want to quit their job and become a trader. And it's like, no, the goal is to get your employees happy to where they want to continue to be there and build capital. So that's something that I really focus on, these last few months, is when I go to speak at people's businesses. It's, how to get their employees to see that there's a different way to make money, and a different way to really get, things out there for people. And that way, as you're sitting there working your day job, your day job is investing, building you something bigger, and that in turn leads to a happier employee, and happier employees equal more money for the business. So again, something I've really enjoyed. So, and we got one last thing here by Austin. He says, hey Andy, who did the blue logo of yours that's on your computer background? So that was actually done by Gary Vaynerchuk's graphic designer guy. His name is Zach Dons. And he made that logo for me. That's actually an old logo from 2019 that he made for me. But he's on social media. If you just go to Instagram, type in Dons, D-Y-N-E-S, he's got all kinds of stuff on there that he does. So I appreciate you guys. Again, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss anything this week, because it's going to be a fun week. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all soon.